Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the newest Disney Plus Star Wars series, ANDOR. So when this show first came out, there was a lot of controversy around it. I was one of the people that was on the fence about it. It's very different. It's very revolutionary for Star Wars and what it means for the future of the brand and future content, all that stuff. It's a very big show. You got to see Lucasfilm experiment with some really darker themes, darker characters, and really just level themselves up when it came to their storytelling, character development, and I think it outranks just about every Disney Plus Star Wars show we've gotten so far. Really like that we have a deeper meaning and understanding for the character of Cassian. He was a one-off character in Rogue One. You know, we spent the one movie with him and then he dies at the end. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. But at this point, you are quite literally 6 years late.
6 years old.
You got to really see why he likes the rebellion and why he feels the Empire has to come down in Rogue One. You kind of understand that about him now. Seeing how Marva was so neutral about the whole thing, and then towards the end, she's like, no, fight the Empire. I've lived too long under this oppression, blah, 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 stand up. And so from what I took from it was Cassian fights for the rebellion for his mom, which I thought was really cool because it makes a direct tie to a super profound theme in Star Wars, and that is family. My favorite episode of the series at first was episode 6, which was the Aldhani heist. I thought that was amazing. Some beautiful, I mean absolutely beautiful shots with the TIE fighters and the meteor shower, and just wow, like literally watching it, my jaw was dropped. But now that the show is completed, I think the finale is probably my favorite episode. It's just a Game of Thrones style culmination of all the characters, all the side stories that we've seen throughout the show come together. And the coolest thing is some of those characters didn't even meet. Like, it just shows how big the galaxy is and how many moving parts there are in this one case about Cassian Andor, and I thought it was masterful. Another thing I liked about the show was being a massive fan of the Breaking Bad universe. That is a very slow burn series, so Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul both are. They don't have a lot of action, but when the action hits, oh man, does it hit. It just grabs you and your eyes are locked to the screen. And it is something that I really enjoyed about Andor because it's such a dialogue-driven show, so very character-driven, and so when you get to the action parts like the Aldhani heist or like the finale or the prison breakout, it's just, I'm speechless. Overall, I think I ranked the show a 9 out of 10, and I think that it is one of the better Disney Plus shows for sure. I would probably still put The Mandalorian above it because I think The Mandalorian, they're completely different shows, and I think that Star Wars, modern Star Wars, has a place for both types of series. Super deep character-driven stuff like Andor, and fun, light, classic Star Wars themes. The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett. I feel like even though they are so different in tone, they all have a place in Star Wars. I really feel like Star Wars is a film genre of its own. It's so diverse and vast, and just about anything can really fit into it. We've seen that with stuff like Star Wars Visions. But the reason I give it a 9 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10 is there are some parts throughout the show where it's just a little too real. There is a slight lack of some Star Warsification within some parts, and I know that this has been talked to death. I know that Tony Gilroy is not a big Star Wars fan, or whatever the newest controversial Star Wars article is every week, but I do think that there are some elements of this show that don't really blend with the wider universe of Star Wars, and mostly cosmetic stuff. I think one of the biggest ones, if you want an example, one of the biggest ones was the lack of aliens. There was a lot of humans throughout the show, and while I get that there's a lot of humans in Star Wars, those background shots on Ferrix or on Niemos where they could show a lot of new and cool aliens, they took some opportunity, but not all of it, and I kind of wish that they would have. There were some rumors of Marva saying the F word instead of fight the Empire. It was the Empire, and while I think that is bold and very risky, in Star Wars has always been those things, it's too much.
I think it's too much.
And I know that didn't make it into the show. There were just a lot of things that kind of carried along that same wavelength. that just didn't really work for me. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me as much, because what I want the most from a Star Wars series is good storytelling, good character development, and excellent payoff. And this show checked all three of those boxes and more. Guys, I absolutely loved Andor. What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you so much for watching this video and being a subscriber. If you are one, it means the world to me. Have a great rest of your week, and may the Force be with you always.